Hello and welcome to the Google Digital Garage. Today we will be having a solid dive into writing for social media. I'm Joseph Killenwell, one of the Google Digital Garage trainers, been working this project now since about 2017. We have the wonderful Sarah with us today, who I have the honor of working with since then as well. Who'll be moderating today's session just over here. So do feel free to say hello, introduce where you're from, maybe what business you are. If you put your business in there as well, and maybe a little bit of context around it, I might try and use the example of your business throughout today's session. So do feel free to do that. You never know, you might get some absolute nuggets of information. So please do get interactive, do say hello, introduce yourself. We've had Charlotte so far. Surely there's going to be more than just Charlotte. Feel free to introduce who you are, Charlotte. If you do have a business, it would be amazing to use yours as an example. Or if you just want to make one up to give me a challenge, also accepted. Before we go into today, about here on the screen, you're going to have the refresh button. If you get any problems throughout today's session with audio or video problems, do feel free to hit that button and it should sort that out. So for example, if it starts to dub over, like it looks like it's being dubbed because the audio and the visual misalign, just hit refresh on that button. Remember, until tomorrow, approximately at noon, this video will be able to be rewatched. So if throughout I say making notes of this or have a think about this, do feel free to just basically, after the video, go back to those moments, maybe make a note of some of the times. And then this will give you a really good understanding of essentially, I suppose, where that bit is that you need a bit more time to have a think about or make some more notes. It'd be great to see people getting involved with that. 1 second. A mental well-being app, amazing. In terms of writing for social, we're on Instagram, TikTok, and that. Much learned. Cool. Right, so we will use a mental well-being app as the sort of overall way of looking at this. Great to see some representation of LGBTQT. I didn't know the others one. IA plus. Learning every day. So before we kick in, let's have a quick sort of breakdown of what it is we're going to learn today. So we've got 3 key areas that we're going to go into. The first one is defining your brand on social media. So understanding what your brand is key, because if you don't understand what you are, how can you write about it? Secondly, writing for social media. So having once you have a solid grasp of this, some key insights and ideas to actually give you, I suppose, the knowledge to be able to then start writing efficiently. And then last of all, the tools for content marketing. So what can we use to make our lives a little bit easier? So before we kick off today, it would be silly of me not to mention this amazing offer that's from Google. So Google have, in the recent past, since lockdown particularly, have opened up an amazing option for any small business or charity in the UK. Unfortunately for our non-UK people watching today, this is UK only. You'll be able to go to g.co/UK mentoring. If you're a business or a charity and you'd like a help with pretty much anything under the digital marketing umbrella, whether it be Google Ads, whether it be social media, writing for social media, digital strategy, there's a load of different tick boxes that essentially you can just go onto, tick, put your name in, and get offered to have a one-to-one with someone. So it's an amazing offering. You get an hour slot, and I could not tell you enough the amount of fun I've had delivering some of these and interacting directly with the people, but also getting dedicated one-to-one time for you and your business. And it might be small questions, a good few of them. It could be one large question or a concept that you really struggle with. So do feel free to sign up to this. It'd be great to see some people here signing up to this today. That's g.co/UK mentoring. So let's kick into today's session. And remember, this is only one part of the Google Digital Garage offering. Have a look online at the fundamentals of digital advertising. We have a certificate that is amazing for anyone just trying to broaden their knowledge, bolster their CV. On top of that, we've also got Google Ads training, analytics training, especially now we're inside the new iteration of analytics. Well worth topping up your knowledge if you've used the old one. So do have a look at g.co/digital garage, or I think it is g.co/digital garage, or it could be google.digitalgarage.com. Sarah, if you could do is put the link for me in the chat, it'd be much appreciated. So, how do you define your brand on social media? This is a massive question. So we need to spend a little bit of time deep diving into this. learndigital.withgoogle.com/digital garage. So how do we do this? So the first thing we need to ask ourselves, and please do make a note of this. If you've got a piece of paper, if you're on your phone, if you've got Docs open, Word open, Open Office open, anything open to make some notes, or even the old school pen and paper, please write down what is your tone of voice. Understanding what this is essentially the first stage. So we're going to ask ourselves the question, the personality of your brand or business. So how does your business talk to your audience? Is it fun? Is it silly? Is it professional? Is it flippant? Is it reactive to news that's happening? So ask yourself the question, the personality of your brand or business, what is it? And to break this down a little bit more, have a consideration for essentially the following. If your business or brand was a celebrity, who would they be and why? So the reason we're doing this is to just sort of break down the complications of this. So for example, if you're thinking of George Clooney, it's sophisticated, laid back, smooth. Why do you think he works with, Nespresso, the coffee brand? Because they associate the similar things that people associate to him to the brand of Nespresso. So all of a sudden, this is a perfect matching. Beyonce, on the other hand, strong, empowering, alluring. This could be maybe something that's a bit more fun, maybe a clothing range, maybe a product or training or something that associates to strongness and empowerment. And then all of a sudden, you can then start to think of yours. And then when you start to think of an individual or a person or a celebrity or maybe even a friend, you'll then start to dig that little bit deeper and start to think, who would they be and why? And the why is you're then starting to pick out keywords that you associate to your business, starting to pick out keywords that people would associate to your business as a brand. More importantly, if you ask people, what do they think of your business? You've also got to consider that do those words that when you ask people what they think of your business as a brand, or how would you describe our business in 3 words, do they align with actually how you want people to perceive your brand? So now we've had a bit of an idea of who it is. Please just write down who would you associate your business or brand to as a celebrity. If you've not thought about it now, please just crack on and you can come back to this at another point. Then once you've done that, and you've had a little bit of a thought process about this, let's take it that extra step further. So 4 steps to help you develop your brand tone of voice. Brand value, use a pen portrait, how you speak, and choose your words. So first of all, what does your brand or business stand for? This is what your brand values are. So this is not a long, convoluted thing. This is, well, what do you stand for? What are your ethics? Why are you here? So to give you a really good example of this, we've got 2 very different businesses. We've got Nico's Pizzeria. Straight away, I'm hearing Nico's, I'm thinking Italian. He's got a moustache. He's got a chef's hat on. Simple logo. I'm liking it already. So what does Nico's Pizzeria stand for? So I've asked myself the question, what does your brand stand for? What does your business stand for? So 3 very simple sentences. Making quality pizza with fresh ingredients. Providing excellent customer service. Fast and reliable home delivery or takeaway. So if you were to break this down into its raw form, it would be quality, customer service, fast and reliable. And if you said to someone, what do you want in a pizzeria? What do you want in a takeaway? Quality, customer service, fast and reliable. But what's great here is to flesh this out a bit with a bit of a sentence to give you better context. It's not just quality, it's making quality pizza with fresh ingredients. It's adding that extra little bit of je ne sais quoi, or va-va-voom, as Thierry Henry would say. But all of a sudden, you've got a bit of a vibe for what that brand is about. Again, when we go to Hathaway Legal, dedicated to the highest level of diligence to each case. We believe that our clients deserve a quick response. We only hire top lawyers who have been trained at prestigious institutions. So again, let's ignore all of the fluff around the edges. Diligence, quick response, top lawyers. Again, what more could you want from a legal firm? So spend that bit of time maybe writing 3, 4, 5, 6 words down and try and think of, for example, how you can bring these words together. Try not to have a long sentence about your core brand value. Start to think about how you could make this work for you. So when we start thinking about this, maybe for the app that we were talking about before, it could be that you need to consider it needs to be engaging. It needs to be supportive. It needs to be something that people are proud to be part of. So all of a sudden, how can you get all of those words into a nice little story like this? So break it down. Think about what you want people for you to be versus also what you want to be perceived as. And more importantly, where does your personality sit in here? There's no point in owning a business and lying to everyone. This should sit nicely on the fence of your business, but also you. So how would you describe a core member of your audience? So starting now to think outside of the box, starting now to think about how your audience would like to see what you're doing. So create content for everyone or create content for no one. Why is creating content for no one greater than creating content for everyone? So what does everyone think this is trying to say? So I'm going to leave this in the room for a second. How do you think this is, I suppose, what is this one slide trying to say? Oh, we've also got Haley here, an aerial fitness not aerial. Oh, wow. Aerial fitness instructor. That's amazing. That's pretty unique. So what do you think this is trying to say? Why is creating content for everyone not as good as creating content for no one? So one of the main reasons this is so relevant is because if you're creating content for everyone, then who are you creating it for? You could hit and hope and do the say and spray approach and just post content on social media to the audience that you think you want to engage with. That's a perfect answer, Charlotte. You need to truly speak to them. So you want to create your individual pen portraits for your clients, which means when you understand this, you're writing content for your Joe, who's 36, a parent, likes sport, likes food, works from home, but really likes good food that is fresh. So all of a sudden, he's also got kids. So you might start doing family-based stuff. You might start doing Family Friday, buy one, get one free on any pizza, plus healthy kids' drinks and desserts. All of a sudden, you're getting a bit of fruit thrown in, you're getting a bit of yogurt thrown in rather than just ice cream and sweets. But the main thing is you're targeting that group. You could then have Student Saturday. You could have Business Tuesday, because it's your slow day and you're thinking people don't really want to cook on a Tuesday. So we start targeting them for lunch times. But the reason we're saying this is because you're going to write content then to these individual groups rather than just saying, buy one, get one free on a Friday. You're trying to create an emotional response from these individuals. So if you just do buy one, get one free on a Friday, who's that targeted at? What emotional response are you trying to get? You want some emotive responses from this. When if you've got Family Friday, boom, all the people that are families start looking at this and go, what's a Family Friday offer? If you're saying Student Saturdays, all of a sudden the students read the word students. It's got a picture of a student biting a big piece of pizza with cheese dripping off it, but everyone's excited. All of a sudden, it could even be the same offer, but the different audience react to it differently. And when you create this for individual groups, as we correctly said then, you're not just creating content for everyone. You're creating content for the ones who need it. You're tailoring that content towards them. Great answer, Charlotte, by the way. So how can we take this one step further? So instead of having a list of key factors and key facts about these people, you can see here a user pen portrait could be based on all these very key factors: gender, name, age, marital status. And it is quite useful to have this as a quick point of reference. But I also like to build a little bit of a story around this. So Simon is a young single professional in his late 20s, works full-time in advertising, lives in Brighton, leads a very busy social life. has a big appetite for adventure, a keen athlete who enjoys playing football, but also likes to go to his local bar with his mates to watch televised sporting events. So all of a sudden, this in a nutshell could be you're advertising to your early 20s. You're probably not going to mention kids at this point. You're saying get food delivered to your house when you get home. Healthy options are available. If you're a keen athlete, you could push on the idea of a thin base. You could push on the idea of a side salad. You could also maybe do like the World Cup is on at the moment. Do some link to the World Cup to say pizza for you and your friends is buy one, get one free with a side of chips every time England are playing. So all of a sudden, we've had 3 matches so far with England. There's going to be the quarterfinals, the last 16, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the final. Potentially 4 more matches. But all of a sudden, these are all opportunities to drive additional traffic. But when you start looking at this, you're literally targeting this Simon. And you could choose, I'm going to advertise to people in the 20 to 25s, at men, at sport lovers. And then you could do an ad, which is more male orientated. But on the flip side of this, you could then do one that's more female orientated and maybe do something like the Lions won the Euros. Why not see if the Lionesses won the Euros? Why don't we see if the Lions can win the World Cup together? And it's got a picture of female football players on there, male football players on there, trying to break down some of these barriers. But all of a sudden, this is just me spitballing in 10 seconds. You're getting emotive responses from different genders. You're getting emotive responses from different personalities, different ideas. And all of these things play upon some of these key factors that you can see in your user pen portrait. In addition to this, we've got Halfway Legal. Sally is in early 30s, single, her first time buying a new apartment in Leeds city centre, works for an insurance company, enjoys reading the newspaper and drinking macchiatos at her nearby coffee shop, tech fanatic, and enjoys getting the latest gadgets. Graduated with a degree in history, a bit of a grammar nerd, and appreciates quality. So again, if you're trying to engage with these people, you're trying to engage and get people who are engaging with your brand, looking at this, you might then think, right, everyone at this age group seems to really be into technology. They've got mobile phones. It's part of their life. How can we engage with them on a higher level? Could it be that we create a social media campaign saying, if you employ or if you use Halfway Legal, we'll keep you up to date really easily with an app on your phone. You might even go to local coffee shops around the city centre and put your card in there. All of a sudden, you're using this Halfway Legal idea. You're using this story. But because we've wrote a story rather than just some keywords, you start to understand who Sally is. You start to understand who Simon is. But what's great about this is next time you're writing a post, you could even put a picture at the top of it. Find someone online that you think associates to this. And then you're like, right, today I am Simon. What would Simon do? What would Simon think? Why would Simon want to watch the football with his mates? How could we engage with Simon on a more emotive level? So all of a sudden, you are Simon, and you could have Simon there, Amanda there, Joe there, Mohammed there, anybody, and have these multiple target audiences. And literally each half a day, each day, you focus on that person. But because you've got a story, you are that person. You, in the ideal world, you should sort of be a bit of an actor for that person. When you're writing content, what would make them laugh? What would make them bounce off these ideas? So spend this extra bit of time going through your user pen portrait, writing up a little bit of information about all of these potential areas, then take another step and write a story about these. Because if you look at this purely as facts, single, young, single, young, late 20s, full-time, Brighton, busy social life, big appetite, athlete, football, watching televised sporting events. They're all the key facts. But the rest of that little story brings that all together, which I personally think is what actually makes this a more interesting part of writing for social media. Makes it a part that actually you could really utilize and spend that time on to really understand who your target audiences are. And if you're really not sure, look at who your audience is already. That could be one of them done, and use that average straight away. So start to spend this extra little bit of time making notes around this. As I said, have a look at these, pause it, play it, make some notes. But this is the sort of detail that you can go into. Some people might not go into this full detail, but you've got to think, if you're doing advertising on LinkedIn, job title makes a lot of sense. Decision maker, choosing the right position so you can literally advertise directly to them. If you're advertising on Facebook, marital status, all of a sudden it could be just married. Well, you know now that maybe you're going to advertise for honeymoons, or engaged, start advertising for rings, start advertising for venues. So all of these little snippets of information mean something somewhere on each social media platform. So what describes the personality of your brand or business? So Nikos, if you think of anybody stereotypically Italian, to me, I'm thinking Gino D'Acampo. I'm thinking the stereotypical mum, the stereotypical dad, the children. Generally, they're charming, they're authentic, they are massively family driven. And that's not, I don't even know many Italian people, if any, directly, but I know that from films, I know that from TV, that family is the core of all their beliefs. So again, when you ask yourself the question, what describes a personality of your business or brand? Charm, authenticity, family, Hathaway Legal, powerful, efficient, experienced. And this could also seep into your physical location. If your online persona is charming, authentic, and family orientated, but in the place you go is like an office block, and it's like, what do you want, mate? Next. Okay, got it. Next. They won't align up. So consider your online brand to everything as part of your brand as well. They can't be different. Create some guidelines for the words that you will and won't use. So now we've started to get a bit more information about who our businesses are. We've started to think about who they are as individual businesses, as a personality. At the beginning, we said about fresh. We said we need to be nice. We said that we're family orientated. We're authentic. So words like ciao is actually authentic to Italy. Ciao, I believe, is like hello and goodbye. Welcome, fresh, appetizing. We're Nico's Pizzeria. We're not a restaurant. Please don't use those words on your social media. Don't use those words in the store. So you've got lines with crosses out, striked through, sorry. You've got bold, and you've got other words. So this could be on your social media. You need to make sure that if you're talking about fresh, you're using the word authentic, appetizing. You say welcome to everybody. Patron's a bit American for my liking, but it's there. But what this could be, as time goes on, you have 3 columns. Words you should say, words you can say, words you shouldn't say. You could even have green, orange, red. And then to take this one step further, you could also look at posts that get a lot of engagement, posts that get people engaging with your app, posts that get engagement with your social media, posts that bring people through to your website and start to go, well, what's good about these posts? A post that gets a lot of engagement, boom, I'm going to put this into the green section. Post that doesn't get a lot of engagement, 1 or 2, boom, into the red section. And then next time when you're doing a post, you've got an amazing opportunity to go, right, don't use words like that. Use words like this. I've used a bit of that. I've used a bit of that. Authentic. I need to try and put something that's relevant to pizza flavors rather than just fresh pizza. Like, is it we're going to use andouille, which is like a spicy sausage? Is it we're going to use pastrami rather than just spice sausage? And starting to think of these things that actually associate to the word authentic. So then straight away, when you've got these, you've got your visuals, you've got your words, you've got your personality starting to bring all together. And if you have that as your social media all in front of you, it means you're far less likely when you're doing your posts to drop another clanger, because you've got what went well, what didn't go well, and you've still got to learn and test. But by having that, you've got a nice little way of going, that looks a bit like that. And I've done that before. Let's do a bit something different, but I'm going to use parts of these. And all of a sudden, you're building content directly at your audiences, having the names across the top of who your personas are, meaning you're going to write for that person today, write for that person, check the words, check the images, brilliant, let's move on. Again, with Hathaway Legal, kind regards, not best wishes, not oi oi, not cheers, very professional. Excellent, thank you, very polite. What you want from a legal firm. So spend this time doing this. To me, that's like Suits, Harvey Specter, not some second-class law firm that's somewhere around the corner. It's keeping that prestigiousness going. Prestige, even not prestigiousness. Let's have a quick look. We've not had any questions, but it's great to see so many people getting involved. We have these fitness instructor. We've got a tailored shop. Cool. We'll try and bring some of these into the conversation. So I would have written a shorter letter, but I did not have the time. What is this saying? This is essentially saying that spend less time. You don't have to spend hours doing something here. If you've actually just efficient at writing social media posts, if you're good at writing content, you can write a letter in that short amount of time. You can make it effective. You can make it brilliant. So spend the extra little bit of time to think, when I'm writing content, do I need to write it that long? The average human attention span is now 8.25 seconds. Hashtag goldfish. Think about a goldfish. Have a picture of a goldfish on your social media. Have a picture of it on your wall for social media. And think, if a goldfish is going to lose its attention span, this will make you think, right, I've just wrote a paragraph in one of my social media posts. Oh, I didn't get to the end of that paragraph and I've just scrolled up. The thumb is the king when it comes to social media. The speed at which you scroll through content on social media is pretty much controlled by your thumb, which isn't controlled by your brain. And attention spans are important. So when we start to think about 8.25 seconds on a goldfish, think about this when we're writing social media posts to keep them engaging, to keep them interesting. Assume your reader will only read. I like to do that as a bit of an example for you all, because essentially, if they don't read that first line, they're never going to read the second line, the first half of your sentence. If they don't say hello, they're never going to say bye. If you don't catch their attention at the start, they're not going to carry on reading. This is the same when it comes to videos, images, text, hashtags. If you start introducing your video saying, hi, everyone, it's great to hear you all had a great weekend. I've had an amazing weekend. We went to Prague. And it's like, I'm already bored. Go straight to the point. What's the hook? Why are they watching this video? Why are you grabbing their attention? And the sooner you do that, the more likely you are to keep them watching the rest of the video or reading that social media post. So always think, assume your reader will only read the first half of this sentence. So start to put that on a picture somewhere. Write it up so that you start to use that as a way of guaranteeing that you know that you've considered this for each of your social media posts. Focus on the user. So what motivates, what are the pain points? A really easy way of looking at this, I think it could be, yep, it is. A really easy way of looking at this is thinking, what are the problems that that user has? So for example, if you're looking for students, the pain points for a student is that pizza is quite expensive. The motivators for a student could be, well, what's a cost-effective way of having a takeaway, but yet still having a pizza and saving time because I don't have lots of money. So buy one, get one free on pizzas. Perfect one to share between you and your mates. Get a 12-inch pizza between four of you, but you get buy one, get one free. You get half a pizza each. It might be 10 quid between four, £2.50 each, but you get half a pizza. But when it's not that night, you don't get half a pizza, you get a quarter. So it's starting to think, what's the problem? What are the pain points that somebody wants? What's the solution? What's the motivators? So for that, it could be that. For example, we said the fitness instructor, it could be you've not got a lot of time. So we do a condensed class. We do a HIIT class. We do a class that is going to do your entire body for your once a week people, for your twice a week people. But for your dedicated audiences who are going to do 3 or 4 sessions a week, it could be that you're going to do upper body, lower body, arms and brain. And you might think, why a brain? A relaxation class, something to help you switch off. And starting to think of this whole picture will definitely reflect and have an emotive response from some people. So what are their motivator points? Why do they want to be with you on this? A simple way of looking at it would be that. The same with the app. What does that app do for you? How is it going to give you mental well-being? Where are the pain points? What are you going to provide? Having a video of that, having some content and animation of that means that people will then go, oh, that could be me. I want to get involved in this. A really good way of doing this is benefits versus features. So for example, when the new Google Pixel comes out, so I think it's the Pixel 7, or when the iPhone came out, they don't tell you it's waterproof up to 5 meters. They don't put 5 millimeter thick glass, comes in black, white, gold, or blue. spherical interface. That's, to me, quite interesting. But to most of the world, that's not how you want to word it. I want to see a picture of someone looking at the iPhone, the kid diving into the pool. They just go, iPhone in hand, dive into the pool and go, someone just dived into the pool with a phone. But they've just taken a picture. They've just sent a WhatsApp message to the mum saying, amazing picture of your granddaughter diving in a pool in France. See you soon. All of a sudden, they come along. They take a picture. They dive in the pool. They show the kid running. It takes a picture of the kid running. It's an instant snap. It's got sports mode. There's no blur. All of a sudden, what are the benefits of having this phone? Boom. That are the benefits. The benefits basically explain what the features are, but graphically. They explain what the good things about it without telling you the facts. If you've got to take it swimming, it's smash resistant. You drop it, it picks it up. Your kid drops it, you pick it up. It's all good. Choose a color to suit your personality. Don't tell them it comes in 4 colors. Comfort and style. Have a phone that matches your personality while being effective and comfortable in your hand. And have someone literally using it all day, putting it in the pocket, going out at night, having the kids during the day. The kids go to sleep, they go out for a meal. It shows it works in all these different things because the benefits of this phone is what sells it. The features are merely what's behind the scenes of the benefits. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Again, this could be a really good example of this could be when we're talking about the app. It could be that the 24-hour support we have different people on support at all times in case you have a bad day. And there's literally some way, I don't know how you would do this, but you have someone who's there for 24 hours, maybe around the world as volunteers who are there to have a chat with. So if you're having a really bad day, 24 hours, have a chat with us, no matter what the weather, no matter what country you're in. And then all of a sudden, this is an amazing way of you basically saying, this is an amazing opportunity. The feature is 24-hour support, but the actual benefit is round-the-clock support for your ups and your downs. Always talk to us and we'll be there for you. And it's these little things you can start to think about and go, well, what else does our app do? It's got groups that support different people of different preferences. All of a sudden, find a group for you, fit in no matter where you are with our app. All of a sudden, it's these different ideas that mean you'll find your preference, you find your idea, you find your group, you find your zen, you find you, or find you with our app. I'm just spitballing, but hopefully you get an idea what I'm getting across here. So again, look at these social media posts. Boost your CV with a free, I've got your attention with boost your CV with free. Even if I just read boost CV free. Oh, I'm interested in this digital marketing course. Get products and engineering on the same page. I don't know what the problem with this, but I'm assuming that there's loads of software which has one or the other. And people are getting really annoyed because they have to use this, export it and put it in there. Or get your products and engineering on the same page with our product roadmap software. Perfect. Get a free coffee roasting kit when you try 3 bags of our roasting coffee. If you're going to buy these bags anyway, but you see that, well, I get a free roasting kit if I actually just buy 3 rather than 1 or 2. But then you get more sales quickly, you get more influx of money, but they get a little roasting kit with your logo on it. That logo sits on their shelf at home when they're not using it. Now you've got advertising off the computer, physically in someone's home. What's that, Joe? Oh, it's a roasting kit from Joe's Coffee. Where's that? Round the corner. Amazing. Might go there, might buy some beans. They've got a roasting kit. Boom. They got a free roasting kit. Now you're in 2 houses and it spitballs, it spirals, it snowballs. Little things like this, all from just making intelligent decisions, looking at this social board and bringing it all together. So use clear and simple versus complicated language. So what does this actually mean? So when we're thinking about this, we have to think, well, clear and simple is what it says on the tin. It's language that is understandable, reader-friendly, structured, uncomplicated, anti-dispensablitarianism. I think I may have said that right or wrong. But the problem is, you don't know if I said that right. I don't know if I said that right, because that's a ridiculously long word, possibly the longest one in the world. I can't remember. But the reason we're saying this is because if you have to think about it, is that the right word to choose? If you start talking in technical terms, internal language, jargon, acronyms, flowery language, unnecessary words, think, is that word needed? You've got this much square in social media posts. but you're taking 3/4 of it up with and they and this and could be and should be. You want that sentence to be as condensed as possible. If you've ever done Google Ads, for example, you get 30 words for the headline, 30 characters for the headline. It's very difficult to get a message across. But with a little bit of time, you can do that. Try and think, how could I get this in less than 15 words? Then go to 10 words. Chop off bits. Use bigger, not bigger words, but words that mean more to try and get that language together to make that post perfect. Choose your image, a bit of a color, a bit of a branding, a little bit of an idea. But all of a sudden, bring this all together with simple language. And now you're starting to make these posts that are going to be on the green wall, not the red wall. But how can you cut your copy but keep the same meaning? So, for example, if you're doing a post about Family Friday, don't just change it every week. Think Family Friday, free pizza. Family Friday, buy one, get one free. Friday, fun day for your family. You kept the same concept. You're not rewriting everything. You could cut some of the content from the week before, but marginally change it, but you're still keeping the same meaning. Don't just rewrite posts every week. Think of what have I wrote in the past? What is the message I'm trying to get across? Cut a little bit of it out, add a bit on the side, add a bit before, add a bit after, take away the rest of it. Boom, you've got another post. You've got an image that you've used. You've got an idea of what that is. Google or go onto like Pixabay or find images that are royalty free or pay for them. But all of a sudden, you're still delivering the same message, but it's quick, it's snappy. It's not about spending 3 hours on the perfect post when you could have done 10 in that same time and get the same amount, if not more, engagement. So cut your copy, but keep the same meaning. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Handling customer complaints. What do we need to do about this? So customer complaints can be a dangerous area. First of all, avoid passive language like get hold of the Royal Mail or it's not our fault. Own these situations. Even if it's not your fault, there's ways of wording this. Come up with solutions, not problems. Don't pass the book, own the book, and potentially move the book on somewhere else, but you try and own the problem by giving the solution straight away. I'll explain this in a minute a little bit more. Being jokey has a time and a place. So when KFC outsold chicken or didn't have any chicken because of a supply line problem, they did an amazing campaign which made everyone laugh about it, and it quite quickly went away. And now it's a bit of an urban legend because it was hilarious. But the reason for this is because that went well for them. But that doesn't mean that you need to have someone complaining about a phone that they never got delivered and going, lol, 5G didn't get it there any quicker. Amazing. Thanks for that. I've still not got my phone and I can't phone my family. My phone broke yesterday. I'm in the middle of an emergency in my life and you're laughing about it. So consider the time when it comes to jokiness or not. And then last of all, remember, if you sign off with a name, they can reply with a name, which means it's like a conversation. Hi, Joe. Hi, Sarah. I've had a really big problem with this. Joe. Sorry, Joe, to hear about this. This is the problem. We'll send out a new package with you tomorrow. Sorry about the thing, Sarah. But the reason for this is it humanizes this process. It's not just talking to a bot. It's not just talking to someone who you don't know. You can also reference these people. I talked to Sarah last week. And if you're worried about putting your own names on there, you can just agree there's a swap out name for you as an individual so that they get a consistent approach. And if someone's replying as a collective, it could just be Adam always replies to Joe. And the next person that comes, we're going to do it as Sarah. So we have a consistent approach so they're always dealing with the same person. So let's have a look at an example of this. Look, I ordered a mobile phone from your company last week, but when it arrived, it was badly damaged. When I called to complain, I was rudely told that you don't accept returns and that I need to contact the delivery company for compensation. Is this really how you treat your loyal customers? I will never buy from you again. So think simple things to look at here. Ordered a mobile phone, arrived damaged, called to complain, you don't accept returns, and they were rude. I need to contact delivery company. Loyal customer, which means they've probably been there before. Never buy from you again. Hopeless. That's a pretty scathing review. If that's on Google My Business, Facebook, Yelp, Trustpilot, that's a hard one for a business to take. But how you deal with this is so important. So, hello, customer. because they've not specified the name. If they did, please type in the name. Our sincerest apologies for the inconvenience caused and the poor customer service you received. It fell below our usual standards. So straight away, you're apologizing for the situation. You're not saying sorry for what's happened yet because you don't know this has definitely happened. Sometimes it can be conjecture. Sometimes you can listen back through the messages and be like, that's not exactly what happened. But you are apologizing for the inconvenience because there's definitely inconvenience had if there's a broken phone. And we usually have a high standard of customer service, reiterating that fact. We value your patronage and will launch a full investigation to why our team provided you with a misinformation and didn't treat you with the full respect you deserve. So their problems: my phone broke, it arrived damaged, I was rudely talked to, and told to contact the delivery. Boom. Every one of those points has been tick, 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 tick. It's a bit like a job description when a CV. You go through the job description, you highlight the sections that we actually want you to talk about, go through your CV, tick off the sections that are done, problem, solution. Please contact me directly on my email and I'll organize a full compensation for replacement. Secretly saying, we'll get it sorted and we'll take this offline. We don't want a thread of opinions, a thread of what happened here, hearsay, what happened there, trying to take it offline. Sometimes you can't, but other times they're giving them the option to do this. So consider this when it comes to yours, and consider sometimes that some people can just be a little bit of a, how's a light way of saying this, can be a bit of an idiot. There was a case once in the Google Digital Garage in Manchester where somebody was, I think it was at a training session, they supplied chocolate, and this chocolate bar arrived broken. But the problem was this can happen, and they do have profit margins, so it's not the end of the world. So they said, so sorry to hear it arrived broken. I'm going to send you a new one out. Boom. New one got sent. They then complain, say, I missed the birthday because of your delay. I didn't want to give them broken chocolate. I'm so sorry to hear about this. As a point of sorry and to hopefully help you out, we've sent you a cheeky extra little gift. I'd like a full refund, please. So now they've got the broken chocolate, the replacement chocolate, the free gift, and now demanding a refund, or I'll leave you a bad review. They then gave them a refund, lost the 3 lots of chocolate. This then happened again, but with somebody else, and they saw this is a bit odd. And for some reason, they Googled the names and found a forum on Facebook where it's literally about getting free stuff. And here's a company where this has happened. And here's what we did. And they literally got the reviews removed by Google because they could prove that this review wasn't real. But the problem is that this person could have done this, and other people have done this many times. So do spend some time having a think about the reviews, having a look into it, but always reply nicely and professionally, unless you have solid grounds not to. So we're going to pause for some questions. Let's have a quick look. As a tailor, what would I do to show benefits? So I suppose it could be, you've got broken clothing. Here's a cost-effective way of fixing it. We're all talking about green. We're all talking about upcycling. We're all talking about trying not to waste so much. Problem, or what benefit did you say? So specification, we can fix clothes, we can tweak them, we can make your bigger clothes pinned at the back to make them tailored fit, and now they fit you. They were big beforehand, now they're tailored fit. So start to think of what the problems are, what are the benefits that you could bring to these people. Add a bit of green to your life. Don't mean the color. Put like a little symbol of the world with a hug around it or something like that. It could be the speed in which you can do something. You could go to the shops and buy something, or you could make it so they spend £7, but they've now got a new top, or they've got a new color flash on it. Or I don't exactly know what tailors do, but the few times I've been was when I ripped my pants. It could be, don't buy new pants, get them fitted by us. We can guarantee a fix within 24 hours on our express service. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea. Should I keep the sentence professional yet condensed? Yes, depending on what your business is. If you're a burger bar or you're a student union, you can have a little bit of fun. You can have a little bit of something different. But if you're halfway legal or you're a professional entity and someone is relying on you for knowledge, you're a thought leader. You have to consider who your audience are. So yes, sometimes you will have to keep it professional, but other times it's not about keeping it professional. It's what does your audience want? What is your business ethos? Are you fun? Are you engaging? Are you going to ask some thought-provoking questions? So, for example, the app about well-being, you're going to ask some thought-provoking questions. You don't always have to be super stringent and super professional. You want to have a bit of fun with your audience. You want to make them smile. So start to think of little things like this, of ways that you could actually engage with your audience more. I'd love to know what to do about trolls on social media. You can report them, you can reply to them, you can research a little bit into them. But realistically, the one way I think about dealing with this is, if people write, you've got 100 reviews and there's one that is absolutely scathing, but there's 99 that aren't, they speak volumes to go, is this person just doing it because they're trying to get something free? Is this person just being ridiculous? Reply to that message. So sorry to hear that you didn't have a very good service with us. I know that we've ran these classes and I don't ever recollect seeing your name on any of our sheets, and I have looked. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Open that conversation, leave it with them, let them make the idiot of themselves. It's hard to say what you can do about full-on trolling. You can report it. If you own the comments, if you own the image, if you own the post, often you can delete the comments manually. But realistically, there's only so much you can do after you've reported it. I can't really help outside of that. But owning the situation sometimes is greater than responding to it and making it worse. So do have a consideration for that. I'd love to give you a better answer, but unfortunately, sometimes there is not a better answer. So the next thing we're going to come across is your toolkit for content. So we've had a little consideration so far about things that we can do. But the next thing we need to consider is, well, how can we make sure that our content is consistent? How can we make sure that when we're writing content, it is not perfect, because no one is perfect, but you reduce the chances of this? So, for example, on Twitter, if you post a tweet, it's the difference between deleting it and do it again or just getting it right the first time. Have a look at apps like Grammarly. Make sure you're using maybe Office-based applications to help you with some of it. But the reason we say this with Grammarly is because what's amazing about Grammarly, even the free version, you can get paid for versions that give you more. It doesn't only just correct your grammar. It can help you with tone of voice. It can help you with personality. So, for example, if you've got Grammarly installed on your Gmail or your Outlook, on your Chrome browser, for example, what's amazing about this is that it can literally tell you, this is very formal, this email. This is quite, not angry, but negative. This is quite informal. So if you're trying to send an email to your boss, for example, you might not want it to be too overly friendly, or do you? Because that's who you are. That's what the business is about. But it tells you this. And this is an amazing tool just to give you a steer in the direction of maybe when you're responding to a complaint, you're not saying, this is ridiculous. How dare you say this to me? I can't agree with anything you're saying. This is just you trying to get something for free. It's very aggressive. It could be take a step back, walk away, come back. So sorry to hear that you've had this problem. We'll investigate this further, as this is not anything that I've ever come across before. Please drop me an email to this email address and we'll do our best to solve this problem. Worst case scenario, you get a 1-star review and it's a legitimate problem that you didn't know about. Best case scenario, you talk them down, they update the review because it's not a you problem and they understand that. But if you went off in the first place, it's only going to get worse. So consider stuff like Grammarly, the tools like this. When you're creating your content, consider the fact that you need to make it eye-catching. You need to make it interesting. So, for example, is your logo in the right place? Is your text the right color? And this is now when we can start to think about the green, the orange, and the red. Certain fonts for titles, certain fonts for content, certain fonts for your website that is the same on your socials. So if you're making content using something like Canva, you can make templates with the right size for Facebook, the right size for Twitter, the right size for Instagram, for stories, for posts. And then all of a sudden, it means that you've got the same text across all of them. You just duplicate the post, do a little bit of a jig about, add a different picture, add some more symbols, add some emojis, boom, next post. But the reason we're saying this is because you're keeping it consistent. There's a thing in IT which is called consistency of standards, which is a pillar of like IT design and creation. But what we need to consider is if you've got tools like Canva, you can literally get this tool to do it for you. And you just copy the post and change it every time. So you know the headers are going to be the same size. You know the text is going to be the same size. You know the logo is always going to be in the top left-hand corner. It could even be that you do a different border of different colors. It could be that the border color is always the same, so people know that's your post, but you're keeping it eye-catching. You've got a video where you're doing a video to your audience for 20 seconds, explaining how your product works, but straight away you're in there getting people's attention, keeping it eye-catching. Edit your photos. Use local apps to it. Google has got an amazing editing tool built into their phones. If you've got not got their tools, you can use Canva. You can use Photoshop. You can use free editing apps, Snapseed. There's absolutely, even just type in free editing, free image editing programs, free image editing websites, apps for editing. iPhone's got it built in. Apple's got it built. iPhone's got it built in. Android's got it built in. Laptops have got it built in. Edit your photos using these tools just means you don't have to. Having a look at templates built into some of these tools, Canva has got hundreds, if not thousands, of templates for social media posts, for posters, for Instagram, for Twitter, for Google My Business, and for the the banners on LinkedIn, the banners on Google My Business. Don't spend your time burning time. Use templates to help you take some of these stages. Even if you just went Twitter post, delete the entire post, you've got the exact dimensions that are going to perfectly fit inside your Twitter post without letterboxing your post. So if you made a post this big and posted to Twitter and it's not the right size, it can take out this section. But if you take out this section, that could say sale Black Friday, shop, watch sale, what day. So consider using templates to help you get over some of these problems, to accelerate your development. Use graphic design apps to also help you maybe with alignment, is it centralized? Canva, for example, literally has a tool that tells you central to the page, horizontal and vertical. If you've got one above, it even helps you with spacing. So don't spend time inefficiently using your time. Spend time looking into these apps that will literally optimize not just you, not just your workload, but your work-life balance. And that to me is the keyest thing here. It's so good that you're doing an app about well-being, because that is one of the biggest issues, is that you can do something 10 times slowly, or do it once slowly, learn from it, create a template, and then repeat that process fast, efficiently, because you've spent that extra little bit of time researching it. And this is one of the things about using apps. This is one of the things about using tools, is that these tools help you take the steps for you. Again, how can we get engaged with our audience? If you're at events, so for example, here we've got the one with the app, we've got a tailor, we've got the dance person who does like the aerial dancing. I shouldn't might be using those ropes where you hold in different positions or pole. It's crazily strong either way. I've got a mate who does it. But what I'm trying to say here is you've got a perfect opportunity to engage with your audience. Don't just say to them, take a picture of the clothes. When they come into the shop, get yourself a smart stick, a Sophie stick. If you've got maybe some younger generation who have give you some clothes to fix or to upgrade or to upcycle or whatever you want to call it, would you mind taking a picture with me? I've not got a selfie stick. Boom, there's a selfie stick. Or let me just take a quick picture. You always have a camera on that selfie stick, plugged in, ready to take a picture. What's your handles on social media? I'll tag you in it. And then once a month, whoever gets the most engagement with those posts gets a free fix. Or even just, it'd be great if you wouldn't mind me posting online with it. It's a really cool piece of clothing that I've fixed. Would you mind me doing a bit of a story around it? Look at TikTok for this, for example. Today, we've had in an amazing pair of Armani jeans. These are classic jeans from the 1970s that they've said have been in the cupboard in the grandma's closet for 25 years. You can't buy quality like this anymore. Show them the quality. How are we going to fix this? A little bit like the Fix Workshop thing on the BBC. Take them through the stages of it. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. You can make it as one long video for like 4 minutes and then break it up. And then drive people to watching that video, watching the next video. 1 second, sorry. But a selfie stick is a really easy way. The dance classes, taking a video as you're walking around, show people how fun it is to do these dance classes. Maybe at this app, have meetups, have people talking about it. Get people to say who come to your events. Maybe you're running events about well-being. To literally do, would you mind doing a quick video review of this for me? Yeah, of course I can. You've got 15 seconds. Just talk about whatever you want to talk about. Just make sure you mention the app and what you think about it. Okay. I've got an app. It really helps me keep calm. It's got really nice partners built into the app. So if I do need to struggle with mental well-being, the app can't always do everything for me, but it's linked me to local partners who have been amazing. I couldn't recommend this app enough, blah, 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 blah. But what we're getting at here is this selfie stick. This little piece of kit could be the difference between someone saying yes and no, someone engaging with your app and their friends engaging with their apps. Spend that time to engage with your audience. You could do 20 social media posts and spend 25 minutes doing social media, or you could be at an event, taking some pictures, writing down some handles, asking them to take pictures, and that could get more engagement than those 25 posts because you spent 5 minutes extra interacting with people using a small tool. A drone, the DJI Mini. You could use that to take some amazing videos, engaging content, edit it together, get someone to edit it together, but using tools to make your life that little bit easier. But having a look at some questions. If anybody's got any questions, we've got an amazing opportunity to get your questions in. 1 second. I want to go to the once a week class, one gym session. I'm done. I'm going to need a little bit more context there. 1 second. Right, cool. So you're the one who wants to go to those classes. So again, what we can think of here is how could these things work together? Could you have it so your app links to these other businesses that you found that are amazing, so you can book in with these businesses? And you could even say, how do you want to find fitness? Ask a questionnaire. So this questionnaire could be an amazing one for people who are trying to think, how can I get this fitness into my life? Or how much time do you have a week? I've got 2 evenings free a week. How much time do you have in those evenings? 30 minutes. And if you've sent this out on social media, ask your friends, your family, your customers to share this Google form, the Microsoft form, and get 100 people responding. You're going to have a very good idea, a Twitter poll of how and what people have got for time, what people would like. And now you've got all of this data, use this. Most people say they've got an hour, 2 days a week. Would you like the classes to be linked? Would you like it to be a routine? Would you like separate muscle groups? All of these answers now give you an amazing opportunity to use this information against your clients, to get more clients, to listen to your clients, to find it fun. What new songs would you like? Here's a vote every week of a new song we're going to introduce once a month for our dance routines. Would you like any extra equipment? Would you like a massage? Maybe once a month, once every 2 months, bring in another company who do massages and say, for you, we've got 15 people who might want a massage, offer a 10-minute free massage at the end of the classes, and they could be lead generation for them. But then you're looking after your clients. You're bringing in other businesses. They pass more people to you. It's self-perpetuating. Just start to think of different ways that basically you could engage with different clients, different people, but more importantly, match what we talked about before. The green, the orange, the red. What it is that people want to see. What it is, once you understand your audience, that you can deliver to them. And all of these smart tools, all of these ideas are merely just more efficient ways of delivering your social media. And writing for social media is the most emotive way that you can engage with your audience. So remember, if you are from the UK, g.co/UK mentoring, an amazing free opportunity for you to get involved, to engage with a mentor, with someone that is an expert in their field, to give you the highest possible chance of accelerating your journey into this digital world. And one thing we do always ask, and please do this as a business as well, ask for feedback, ask for reviews. We want to improve our journey. My name is Joe. Sarah was the moderator. You've been watching Writing for Social Media. On this digital garage feedback, goo.gul/digital garage feedback, it asks you questions to improve this in the future. We would love to hear what you think about it. Like reviews, no one's ever going to improve till you get reviews, till you get feedback. So like myself, always ask for it when you can, politely, efficiently. Some people will, some people don't. It's been great to see other people getting involved today. We've had Ant, we've had Charlotte, we've had Haley. Thank you so much for getting involved. The other ones, I'm just not 100% on how to pronounce your name, so I'm not going to give it a go. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved. Thank you, everyone, for being so engaged. It's great to see so many people getting on board. We'll see you again at the Google Digital Garage. Have a nice evening. Thank you very much, and good night.